And now it is my pleasure and honor to introduce the Foreign Minister of Sweden, Linde, to take the floor. The stage is yours. We are very delighted to have you here. Please come on stage.
Your Royal Highness, Excellencies, friends, and all of you who have chosen and defined yourself. Love is in all its colors beautiful and well worth celebrating. I'm proud that WorldPride and EuroGames are jointly held in Malmö, Sweden, and Copenhagen, Denmark. And I'm happy to be here at Copenhagen 2021. Sweden's position is crystal clear. Human rights are universal and apply to all. We are entitled to the same human rights, irrespective of whom we love, our sexual orientation, gender identity, or sex characteristics. This should not be a matter of controversy. Yet, reality is different. LGBTI+ persons suffer human rights violations and abuses in every part of the world and are often at heightened risk of being subject to violence, discrimination, and stigmatization. Transgender and other gender-diverse persons are especially exposed. This must end. States must prevent such acts as hold those responsible accountable. Rather than being protected by our law, consensual same-sex relationships remain criminalized in almost 70 countries, in some countries even by death penalty. This is unacceptable. Love is not a crime. Love is love. Let me tell you about some of the experiences I've had from my travels. During my recent visit to Kazakhstan as OSCE chairperson in office, I met with the LGBTI+ activist Sana Sekarbayeva, who has been harassed, arrested, and threatened with hatred only because of their commitments. When I visited Ukraine capital Kyiv, I spoke with Olena Shevchenko, a human rights defender and founder of human rights organization for women and LGBTI+ people. She talked about the difficulties the organization that she represents still faces. And I have to say, I was so pleased this morning to meet Anna Sharinya here, a very brave, who I've met already in Kyiv Pride 7 years ago when it was difficult in Ukraine. It has gone better for the Pride in Kyiv, don't you think? A little bit. Even in EU countries like Hungary, the situation has become much more difficult for LGBTI+ people. Something that Amnesty International director in Hungary, David Wiig, said when I met him in Budapest recently. I have also met the organizers of Ljubljana Pride, LGBT activists in North Macedonia, and spoken sharply negatively about the deteriorating situation in Poland and Hungary. For me, these meetings are extremely important, not only because of my personal engagement for LGBTI+ rights, but rather to get a picture of developments in the country I visit. Oppression of LGBTI+ people is often a warning sign of a negative development in a country. Democracy means the freedom to love who you want. Through our initiative, Drive for Democracy, we highlight democracy as the best foundation for a sustainable society. Democracy safeguards our equal values and gives room for different voices to be heard and respected. However, defending democracy and human rights today comes with great and unacceptable risks, especially for female human rights defenders and for human rights defenders challenging traditional gender roles. We have an obligation to ensure a safe and enabling space for human rights defenders, including by protecting the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and associations. Sweden recognizes the multiple and interesting forms of discrimination that many of the LGBTI+ persons face, and we stand up for everyone's full enjoyment of human rights, irrespective of sex, gender identity or expression, ethnicity, religion or other beliefs, disability, sexual orientation or age. We also acknowledge that gender is not necessarily perceived or experienced binary, and that gender identity and gender expression do not always correlate with your biological sex. Through our feminist foreign policy, we have stood up for all women and girls in all their diversity, for equal and reproductive health and rights, and for comprehensive sexuality education. To achieve gender equality and work successfully with sexual and reproductive health and rights, we need a commitment of all persons. Finally, at a time when established positions are challenged, we need to join forces and push back. We need to tackle regressive attitudes towards the LGBTI+ persons' enjoyment of human rights and gender equality. Together, we will continue to stand up for human rights for all persons, today and every day. Thank you, and happy Pride.